What's going on, guys? One love out to everybody. We got UFC 266, Volkanovski versus Ortega. Predictions, breakdown, guys. Before I get into this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to this channel, and subscribe to my Patreon account for face-off predictions, prop bets, and combination parlay predictions. Alright, we're gonna jump into this, guys. Pretty decent card. We also got Valentina, Shevchenko on this card too, which can make for an even better card. So yeah, let's jump into this, guys. We'll knock this out. We got 13 fights in this card. A couple guys fell off already like usual, but we're gonna do the best we can do. Alright, first fight here, we got Omar Moraes versus Jonathan Pearce. Omar Moraes here, he's pretty well rounded guy. I believe he's a BJJ black belt. I could be wrong about that, but I think he is though. Also, he has a strong kickboxing karate base there. Also has taekwondo in there too. From his movements and his kicks, I could see that there's some taekwondo in there too. I mean, I could be wrong, but I know it's a karate base he has though. He flow real good, man. He got good fundamentals. His stand-up is very strong because that's his base, right? His fundamentals is from his kickboxing, right? Nice kicking, punching combination, nice movement. And he will look for the takedowns also. And also he will defend against the takedown. And he's going to have the 3-inch of reach in this fight, which is massive. I feel that Moraes... he can slow down at times, but usually in the later rounds. But he usually starts off good though. But this is a very close fight for me to pick. It's a tough one to pick against Jonathan Pearce, right? His opponent here, Jonathan Pearce here, he will look for the takedowns, but he can get taken down himself. His striking is not bad. He fights long. He mixes it up. Has a high pace here, a lot of volume, pushing forward, kind of grinding. He stays on you, will push his striking, go for takedowns, and just keep on going. He seems to have very good endurance. His striking can get wild at times, but then he's persistent. And he will keep pushing forward and keep grinding. That's one thing about Jonathan Pearce that I noticed. He's not going to give up. He's going to keep coming and grind. That's why I say this fight could be a very tough one. And I'm not confident in this pick I'm going to make here, guys. Because even though Moraes, has a better stand-up and his ground is not bad. But Pearce has stand-up too. And his ground is... I think his ground is more of his base, his wrestling. So this is a fight where he could just keep pushing that high pace, and then Moraes gets tired and then probably lose the last second, third rounds. So in the first round, I mean, Moraes could look good, but in the second, third, he could probably lose it because of that's the pressure, and then that Pearce has the condition cardio. Just to pull off a grindy win here, but I'm not confident in this one, guys. And like I said, check my Patreon account because I will make changes on my face-off predictions. But I'm going to go with Moraes here, guys. Just a better fundamentals, better base. His foundation is better. But again, with these fights, anything is possible, nothing guaranteed, right? But I'm going to go with Moraes. I'm going to say Moraes by decision, guys. But I'm not confident in this one because I do feel that Pearce can edge it a win here. Just maybe a split decision. I mean, just from his condition and his grinding pressure forward, right? So, but I like Moraes by decision, guys. Next fight, we got Max Mellensberger, I know I mispronounced that, versus Martin Sano. Matt here. Matt, man, he's this guy's game, man. I mean, he comes to fight. He's very durable. He's pretty well-rounded guy. Has a wrestling base on him there. Will also throw the hands, and his hands are pretty heavy. So this guy here, man, he's not going to give up, man. He's going to be in the fight. As you see against Chaos Williams, you see him against Jason Witt. This guy's going to bring the fight, and he's not going to give up, man. He's going to keep pushing forward, right? His opponent here, Martin Sano. I believe Martin Sano here is Nate and Nick Diaz's friend or something like that. I think he trains with them. He hasn't fought since 2017. To me, like I said, all these guys, all these fighters, if you come into the cage, that means you belong there, because that's what you put your energy into, right? So as long as you put the work in, what I'm saying, you come in there and you perform, then anything is possible. So all these guys have a chance to pull off a win here, right? Sano, though, to me, yeah, from what I watch in his videos, 'cause I watch every video on this guy, because that's my main thing. I love watching videos, man, because I just don't go and look at the fights and go just by stats. Okay, this guy gonna win, or this guy gonna. No, I literally sit down there and I watch hours of videos on every single guy. And a particular guy could watch up to 1 to 2, 3, 4 videos. It just depended on how much videos I could see. What I see from Sano, though, man, I mean, he looks slightly green to me, man. Like he's still kind of learning in every department. Like I said, I'm not here to disrespect the guys. I'm just speaking from what I see. And again, it could just be my opinion. Maybe to somebody else, he may be, you know, his skill set is at a high level. But to me, it looks slightly green. His ground, though, seems to be his strength, right? Like I said, he trains with Nick and Diaz. So those guys more, you know, it's more the boxing, but they also have a strong Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu ground, right? Like I said, his stand-up needs work. His grappling, his scrambling, his wrestling still need work because he can get reversed. And even if he gets you in a submission, you can pop out of it. Like I said, the learning part is all a part of the journey. It's a part of the process of getting better. So, like as I said, this guy is probably still learning and and then trying to get better. The more consistent he stays, eventually he will get better, right? He's very resilient and he has a heart, and he's kind of scrappy too. So, like later on in the third round, kind of like Nate and Nick, he would put on a pressure and just keep coming forward, chin up in the air, just throwing his hands, taking a lot of shots, and then he will stay on you. So he's very resilient in that kind of way. So he will keep coming straight and be like kind of like a zombie. But like I said, man, I mean, to some guys you can get away with that with. And there's other guys who throw heavy and have a stronger wrestler base, and foundation base is a little bit better. So I feel Matt is that kind of guy. His foundation, his base, his wrestling, his power, his technique is a little better. So I'm gonna go with Matt for the win here. And like I said, anything is possible. I mean, Sano could come in here and pull off a win. And I can guarantee that Matt is a huge favorite. But it is what it is, though. But like I said, not because the guy on paper may not look as good. I mean, you never know. He may come into this fight and even look great. You just never know. And he hasn't fought since 2017, so you don't know what to expect from him. But I like Matt for the win here, and I'm gonna say Matt by KO TKO in the first round, guys. Okay. Next fight here, we have. Nick Maximov versus Cody Brundage. This guy's a next Nick and Nate fighter here. I guess they're prodigy. A couple of Nate guys are fighting on this card. I was reading from my notes here. So a couple of the guys are fighting on the card here. This guy was on the contender series, if you guys remember, and they fought a guy, Oscar Cota, who was, I believe, he was 209. Nick was 209 in this fight, and his opponent here, Cota, the Cota was like 260 something, like 260. I want to say 65. He overweighted him by a lot, dude. It was okay. He went at 263, and Nick was 209, dude. That's a Dude, that's a massive weight difference, and you could see it in the fight. He was going for takedowns and he was getting scrambled on, but that's a lot of weight to deal with. And you could tell the other guy is like way massive on him, man. So I mean, but I mean, he still pulled the win off the best way he could. So it's that thing where he's fighting a guy that's heavier than him. So then he was getting takedowns still. He has decent transitions on the ground, has a wrestling base. He will stay consistent, aggressive, lots of pressure. And in this fight here, he's going to have the 4-inch of reach in this fight against his opponent, right? His opponent here, Cody. Cody is a short notice fight here, right? This fight could be also close to, guys. Let me see here. Cody was also in the contender series against William Knight. Which he lost that fight, which he was doing good. He took down William Knight, was grinding, but then he got reversed, right? Cody and Maximov are slightly similar in some kind of ways, like the skill set. But I feel Cody's wrestling maybe slightly better, but I feel Maximov may have the better like submission at the BJJ, right? Also, Cody has like his ground and pounds a little more aggressive, right? It's a little more heavy at it. But I feel with Cody here, you know, Cody can get, yeah, it's like he gets like transition done. You can scramble on him, and he seems to like when he's going for takedowns, he's not. I mean, he will get the takedown, but he stays down on your double and single for too long, and he can get elbowed, and that's how he lost the fight against William. He stays in that position with his head down, and you never want to leave your head down like that. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at Maximov here, Maximov, you know, he fights a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu matches, even though this is MMA, so everything goes. So he's been competing a lot of grappling matches here and stuff like that. But like, you see, with this fight here, man, like I said, this is a very close one too. But Cody taking it on a short notice, so this one can go either way. So I'm really not confident in any pick here. I'm picking guys, so I'm gonna go for Maximov here, and I'm gonna say Maximov by a submission, guys, in the first round. But I'm not confident in this one because, like I said, both guys are kind of similar in skill set. You know, I just feel Cody may have the edge in the wrestling, but I don't know. I feel like he dropped the ball. I feel with Nick that Nick Maximov will hang in there and keep on pushing, but again, he can get even submitted too. So yeah, so I'm gonna go with Nick Maximov by submission in first round, guys. I'm not confident. Next fight here, we have Uros Medic versus Julian Turner. Medic here has a kickboxing base here. Come from King's MMA. He's gonna have the speed advantage too. Moves well, very light in the feet, decent combinations. He has a good fundamental, like his foundation, his striking is very good. Very aggressive coming forward, heavy ground and pounds. He's pretty well rounded. I see him put out some submission two off his back. He will go for takedowns. Let me see. He has an experienced kickboxing record. And I feel like Medic here, in my opinion, is going to have the more output. I feel like he has more volume in him. He's a guy that's going to keep coming forward, and he's going to stay on you and then land strikes. But with that, you can get countered. So, and Turner could counter him coming in if he's too over aggressive. But then with Medic has a striking foundation. He's coming from a kickboxing record, and his ground is not bad. So I mean, in a kind of way, I kind of favor Medic in a kind of way here. But we're gonna take a look on Turner here. Julian Turner here, he's gonna have the 4-inch of reach. 4-inch of reach, is that right? Yep, he's gonna have 4-inch of reach, which is freaking massive, and 2-inch of height. He's well rounded. Both guys don't go to decision. All of them finish all the fights, man. So most likely somebody's getting a finish in this fight. Turner can get hurt though. That's the thing about this fight. He get flash knockdowns and he recover. So he's not too durable and he's been knocked out 3 times. MMA experience, he may have that. But the kickboxing, I feel Medic is a better stand-up fighter here. Turner is not bad too, so don't get me wrong. Turner's a good stand-up fighter too, and he's going to have the reach advantage, which play a huge factor. He can get taken down, and he will slow down in the second round. This is a close fight too, guys, because Turner's a pretty good fighter too. So this is our next one too, where I'm not confident in because of the reach advantage, and he has a good 4-inch, and he even have a height advantage. But Medic is a pretty good kickboxer, man, and his ground is not bad. So I mean, I feel like he put more output and he pushes more forward and he's a little more aggressive, but he composes himself and he has the techniques and the tools. With Julian Turner, you know, there's sometimes he slowed down and then he's not even doing much. So all those times that he's not doing anything, I feel with Medic will score points or maybe even finish the fight on him. So I'm liking Medic for the win here, guys. And I must say Medic by first round KO TKO. Like I said, both of these guys, they finish the fights, man. There's no decisions for both of them, man. So maybe this could be the first time somebody get a decision, but I doubt it. And like I said, Turner is a pretty good fighter, man. So be very careful with this one. I mean, like I said, I'm a face-offs or my parlay predictions or my combination predictions. I may have different plays. So see 0. All of it in his finishes, or unless he finish him. And Medic is undefeated, and all of his stints is finished too. And what I see from Medic, his stand-up, his kickboxing, to me, is high level. Is good striking, and his grown is pretty decent too. So, you know what I mean? The only thing here is just a reach from Turner, and Turner has the skills too. But I'm just liking more Medic here. So I see Medic pulling off the win here. So I'm gonna go Medic, like I said, by KOTQ in the first round, guys. All right, but definitely not confident. And we're gonna take a look at the odds after this to see what we're working with. Next fight here, we got Roxanne Medafora versus Talia Santos. Medafora here, very experienced. She's a veteran in the game. Let me see. She definitely wants this fight to the ground, and that's where she shines. Her stand-up has been getting better. Like, you know, like I said, like this guy is something to come into the game with a good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a good wrestling, but the stand-up is just not there, or it could be the opposite. And, you know, over time they work on it, you know, and then they get better and better. So her stand-up has gotten better. But she wants the submission, though, and she wants the ground, because you can look for more ground and pound or pull off a submission, right? She's very hittable though, and that's because of stand-up. You know, her defense is not that great. You can catch her with jabs, you can catch her with overhands, you can close the distance and pop her up and move back out. Let me see here. I feel with Medafora here, from what I've been seeing with her in her last fights here, I feel like she's declining. Like she's not really getting the takedowns like she used to, and she's not finding the submissions like she used to, and she can get controlled on the ground like we see here against Vivian Arroyo, which Vivian Arroyo is a quick girl. She's way quicker than her, and that girl was controlling her and putting on the ground and even looking for submissions. So I feel that with Roxanne Medafora, I feel she's declining. Like, so whatever she's good in, she's getting control in it. It means really dependent on the person though, right? But yeah, I mean, that's what I really see. She's gonna need to take this fight to the ground, and the ground is where she shines at, right? Her opponent here, Talita Santos, has a Muay Thai kickboxing base there. Very athletic. She's quick at the movement, striking base. She also has a ground game there. She has heavy strikes. Her takedown defense has been getting better. She can get taken down, but it has been getting better. She's gonna be the physically stronger woman here. And she will also look for the takedowns. And what I've been seeing from her other fights, from Gillian Roberts and Molly McCann, she's initiating the takedowns now, because against Mara Barolo, I feel that, I guess from her camp, they're probably telling her that when you wait too much and make the person initiate the takedown on you, then they're going to have the upper hand on you, right? You know what I'm saying? So what you need to do, you need to make sure you get the takedown first, because in a physically, mentally strong way, she could be physically stronger in this fight over all these females, because she's a freaking huge 126. I mean, she's at 126, but she's massive, man, right? So she could have an upper hand over these women. So that's why looking in her recent fight, she's pushing the takedowns first. You know what I'm saying? Just to get an upper hand on you, right? So she's working more takedowns and looking to control on the ground and land strikes. But with Roxanne Medafora, she has to be careful with that though, going for takedowns. Which against Roxanne Medafora, depending on the opponent, she may not even have to do that, because in my opinion, she can have the better striking, and she can stay at the distance and pop the jab and move around. So she may come into this fight with stand up, because Roxanne Medafora stand up is not that good. It's still learning and still and she's trying to get better, but she's open, man. And if Santos want to take her down, she could, and go side mount, or even go half, right? But she's gonna be the physically stronger person here, and she has the skills. So for those reasons why, for all those things I've been saying, she's physically stronger and she has a skill set, I'm gonna go for Santos for the win here. And Roxanne Medafora is a tough chick, man. I mean, she can take up hitting, take up beating, and keep on going. So I'm gonna say Santos by decision, guy. But I'm not confident, because Roxanne Medafora, I'm saying, she look like she'd be losing and she put a submission on you. Anything is possible. She's a more experienced woman here. I mean, Santos is good with Muay Thai and kickboxing, and she has grown, but I feel Roxanne made it for her grown. You know, she has more experience in that, and she's better on the ground. And if she can get the fight to the ground and Santos gets tired, then she's screwed. You know, because Roxanne metaphor will keep on going. And if Santos get tired, she gets screwed. So this fight here, depending on the odds too, I'll be very careful with this fight because Roxanne can win. Believe me, if she can get the groove going and Santos keep getting taken down, kind of similar to when she was fighting Maria Barolo. It's kind of similar thing. She was getting taken down in that fight. If Roxanne can come in with that kind of game plan and just grind, you never know. She maybe can get a submission. But I see Santos winning this though, but again, nothing is definite here, guys. So be careful. All right. Next fight, we got Shamil Abdurakhimov versus Chris Dakos. I tried, guys. I'm trying. Shamil hasn't fought since 2019. If you notice that here. So he's been kind of out for a while. He's well-rounded, has a sambo wrestling base there. Can get taken down though, and at times he can get flat-footed and just get hit with shots, right? So this guy is not a bad fighter, but he hasn't been fighting since 2019. Age is a number, but he's up there in his 40s. But like I said, age is a number. It all depends on how you perform and how active you are, right? Chris Dakos is pretty well-rounded guy too, man. He has a BJJ black belt. He comes in light though, and there's a reason for that, because I believe he mentioned he comes in light, still carry the power. The guy might overweigh maybe by 30 pounds, 20, but he's going to be the quicker fighter, and he shows it in all his fight. Aleskas, he was a quicker fighter against Nascimento. He was a way quicker fighter in that one. So, and even against Parker Porter, man, that's a tongue twister. He was a quicker guy in all his fights, and it shows. So, like I always say, the guy could be a bigger guy than you, 30 pounds over, but if you're skilled and you're quick at the movement, you can pop and move back out, and the guy is slow, then obviously you're going to win the fight, and you still carry that power. So, he's at 230, and the guy, this guy here, Shamil, is up in the 260 something, like 260. Well, let me check his last fight to see. I mean, I don't think the weigh-ins went in yet, so. No, the weigh-ins hasn't started yet. Against Curtis Blaydes, he's like 257. So, and Chris gonna come to this fight probably the same, like around 230 something. I mean, you can check the weigh-ins and the scales too, because as I said, the weigh-ins and face-off are very important. Now, if Chris Dakos coming here at 250 something, then I don't know. You may have to, kind of look towards Shamil for the win, kind of in a way, because then I think Chris Dakos, with the lower weight on him, he moves a lot quicker, and his speed is what's going to win him this fight, in my opinion, right? With Chris Dakos here, he will have the speed advantage in him, and he is also a heavy hitter, and he also has a ground game, BJJ black belt, right? Shamil hasn't fought in a while. From what I see from Shamil, he's going to be the slower fighter here. If Chris can close the distance here, bam, he can do the same exact thing like what he did to Alexis and Rodrigo Nascimento. But there's a puncher's chance from Shamil, and Chris can get hurt in the fight. These are two big heavyweight guys. Anything is possible here. So it takes one shot and he's over. Chris could land one shot and is over too, or Shamil could land one shot and is over. So nothing definite here, nothing confident here. Sometimes I say, oh, he's confident, but but anything is possible. I'm not confident with this one though. So I must say Chris Dakos here for the win, guys. And I'm going to say Chris Dakos by KO/TQ in the first round, but this fight here is a risky one, and be very careful. Very, very careful, because Shamil could win here. He has a possibility he could land a shot on Chris. It depends. It's a possibility. While Chris is landing off his shots, he may be able to counter, but like I said, Chris got a speed advantage. Chris by KO/TQ, first round, guys. Next fighter, we got Dan Hooker versus Nasrat Haqparast. Dan Hooker here is going to have a 3-inch of reach, which is massive. He's well-rounded, rangy kind of guy. He can take this fight anywhere. Switches stance. His movement is nice, and he has a ground game, right? He can get hurt on the feet though. His last fight here against Michael Chandler, he got put out in that fight. So when I look at Hooker, he's a good fighter, man. Switch his stance, you know, he coming up to the early city kickboxing, change with Israel Sano, you know what I'm saying? All those guys put in good work, man, right? Nasrat Haqparast, he's pretty well rounded guy too. He can take this fight anywhere. He also can get hurt on the feet too, and he can get flash knockdowns, but then he recover. Hooker gonna have the 3-inch reach here, and this is the next fight where he can go anywhere. It's risky. Because Hooker can steer at that range and just beat him up with the strikes, but Nasrat can close the distance. And sometimes when I see from Hooker, even though he's at the range, you can still close the distance on him. And I see that in a lot of his fights. I see that against when he fought Dustin Poirier, even Michael Chandler, shorter reach, even Paul Felder. Even though he won by a split, but that was a close fight. Even James Vick, it's kind of similar things that you can, even Edson Barboza, you can close the distance on him. So yeah, he can stay at range, but I feel with Haqparast here, like Haqparast can close the distance. I feel Haqparast boxing, it could be slightly better than Hooker in that kind of way. But again, it's a close fight, guys. But I like Nasrat for this one. And Nasrat Haqparast, and I must say Nasrat by decision, guys. And I'm not confident in this one. Next fight here, guys. We got Marlon Moraes versus Merab Dvalishvili. Marlon Moraes here, pretty well-rounded guy, BJJ black belt. But he can get flash knockdowns, man, and he'd be knocked out like 5 times. We see this a lot in his fights. You know, you get touch and you get wobble. He relies a lot on his kicks, and he can get taken down. And with Marlon Moraes here, I feel like it's more of a mental thing now. I mean, at this point, and more of a confidence kind of thing. Like his mental is just not there against a Rob Font, against a Corey Sanahan fight. You know, there's certain fights when he gets touched or he gets pressured in a kind of way, then he loses. He feel like he fades. Even against a Jose Aldo, you can tell that he was like fading. It's like his mental breaks. You know what I'm saying? So this is a next fight here, or a next guy who is mentally, depending on the fight and who is fighting and what position he's in or what pressure he's under, he will fade in the fight. He's an American top team. He will look to take the fight to the ground, and it looks like he's trying to do that more now. Even in the Rob fight, in the Rob Font fight, he was trying to push the fight to the ground now and try to use more of his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, because he hasn't been really using it much. He's been really using more of his power from his punches and his kicks, right? But now he's trying to switch up a little bit. He's trying to go back to the BJJ, trying to look for more ground and pound and try to like pace himself in the fight. So he's trying to find a way where he doesn't gas himself out too much by throwing a lot of shots, like kicks and punches, and try to mix up a little bit, and not trying to get into too much furies where he gets in hit and then he gets hurt, and then his mental state goes out the window and he's kind of like fading out. So he's trying to find a way to conserve himself here. Against Merab Dvalishvili, though, is kind of the wrong guy to do that. He's kind of the wrong guy to do that with, because this guy is not going to stop. With Merab Dvalishvili, he's a very well-rounded guy and he's durable. And he has crazy cardio and takedowns, man. He's gonna keep grinding, man. He's gonna keep coming at you. So this guy's not gonna stop, and he's gonna have the 2-inch of reach and crazy volume, crazy output. So with this fight here, I feel like with Marlon Moraes, he may have to look for a knockout in this. So this is where his kick's gonna come into play now, because if he's trying to go to wrestling, it's gonna be hard to grapple with Merab, man. It's gonna be tough, or unless he can get a submission of Merab, which is possible. I feel with Merab, he's been submitted from before, right? He's been submitted before, I believe. Let's see here. I think he's been submitted like one time, I believe. He's been submitted one time, which that was against Ricky Simone in the last couple minutes of the fight, or seconds. So this is a fight where, Marlon Moraes could use his kicks to try to get a victory or a knockout, but then I think maybe going to the ground and looking for submission, maybe he's better chance here. Just with Merab Dvalishvili, he's so dominant on the ground though. And that's the thing, he's very dominant on the ground. He's going to keep grinding, and he's going to keep putting you down there and hold you down and beat you up. So this is a fight where, like I said, the mental state, you can't teach mental. And if the guy breaks in the fight, he's maybe maybe consistently may do the same thing over and over again. And you can't really teach mental. You can teach the techniques though, and if Marlon Moraes can get the takedowns and look for submission, or make Merab take him down and look for guillotine, then he could win. But then, what happened if Merab hold him down there and keep hitting him with shots? It's going to be tough for him to pull off a win there. His mental going to go out the door, and then he's going to get broken again. And then start to fade in the fight. I'm going to go with Merab for the win here. And this is a kind of a confident one for me. Because like I said, I feel Marlon Moraes is kind of on a decline. His mental state is not there. And once your man is not there, then your physical will not be there either. So I'm going to go with Merab. That's a Vili for the win. And I'm going to say Merab by decision. And I'm confident in this one, guys. But like I said, my confidence is like anything is possible still. The guy can still lose. But I feel a little more sure about this fight than I do with the other ones. So I like Merab by decision, guys. Just the pace. His pace, his endurance, his cardio. And his durability. And like I said, Marlon Moraes could catch him with something. A knee, or like what they did to Aljamain Sterling is possible. And actually, Aljamain Sterling and Merab are in the same camp. So it's possible, man. Anything is possible here. But I like Merab by decision. Jéssica Andrade versus Cynthia Calvillo. Jéssica Andrade is going to be the physically stronger person here, man. She powers through everything though, so not much technique, and she's gonna have a speed advantage here. She's well rounded, and I believe she's a BJJ black belt, and we'll also look for the submissions. And like I said, she carried the power, the knockout, right? And like I said, she's gonna have the strength factor here, the strength in this fight, the physically stronger person. This fight here, man, is kind of a tough one to pick too. If you look at Calvillo here, Cynthia Calvillo, she can have the 3 inch of height and a 2 inch of reach, which is massive. She's well rounded, but I feel like her strength factor is not going to be there, and she's going to be the slower person here on the movement. The stand up, she's going to be the slower person here, man. And she doesn't have any power, any punching power. The only thing that her stronger point would be the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the grappling, if she can get a submission. But man, I feel like Jéssica Andrade is she's just too of a quicker fighter, a more powerful puncher, and physically stronger, right? The mental part, maybe, if Cynthia Calvillo can make up a smart game plan, she can implement something like double, single legs, but then again, she's going to be the slower fighter. And you're dealing with Andrade, who's physically stronger. So, I mean, again, and I know the technique matters, and that's what I say, but to implement those techniques from Cynthia Calvillo, you're going to have a good game plan. And you have to be able to implement it. And from what I see from Cynthia Calvillo in a fight against Katlyn Chookagian, I mean, Katlyn Chookagian is a slow fighter too. And Cynthia Calvillo is a slow fighter too. And Katlyn Chookagian was landing jabs on her and peppering up with shots. Katlyn Chookagian was outstriking her. And Jéssica Andrade finished Katlyn Chookagian in the first round. I know it's not good to look at the fights like that, but the speed advantage, man, is just the speed and the power and the strength factors. It can play a factor in this, man. And Cynthia Calvillo, if she's unable to close the distance quick and go for takedowns and use her striking to where it benefit her as far as speed and power, it's going to be hard for her to win this fight, in my opinion. Again, anything is possible. But I'm going to go with Jéssica Andrade for this fight. And I'm not confident in this one at all, because if Cynthia Calvillo coming in with a good game plan, she could win. Good technique, man. She could win the fight by setting up maybe her strikes for takedown. But she got to be quick on the double single. She got to be fast on that. She has to be fast, just as quick as Valentina Shevchenko with those takedowns. And I mean, I don't see she being quick as that. So I mean, she has never been that quick in her fights, at least in her recent fights. All right. So I'm liking Jéssica Andrade for the win, and I'm gonna say Jéssica Andrade by a decision, guys. And I'm not confident. All right. Next fighter, we got Curtis Blaydes versus Rozenstruik. All right. Curtis Blaydes here is a well-rounded guy, man. Strong wrestling base, but he can get knocked down. He can get knocked out, especially when he's closing the distance. And that's when he usually gets caught, when he's closing the distance, because he gets sloppy on his takedowns. right? And you can catch him with an uppercut. He's been knocked out 3 times, but he's not a 2-inch of reach here. If he can set up his striking better for the takedowns, he would do a lot better and avoid getting knocked out. He's just ducking down and going for takedowns. It's like he's telegraphing the takedowns, and that's why Derek Lewis catches him. So, you know, if he can use his striking a little better and pick his shots a little better, and then go for double single, then it will work for him better than just shooting like that. He has to set up the wrestling with something, man, not just blindly just shoot like that, right? But overall, other than that, the guy is a decent fighter. You know what I'm saying? He can box. He has his striking, and his wrestling is a strong point. Once he closes the distance and avoid getting knocked out, but he can get knocked out though, and that's the thing about this fight against Rozenstruik. I mean, Rozenstruik power, man, is a powerful hitter. He's a powerful hitter, man, and if he connects one time, it's game over. Similar to what Black Beast did. He connect one time, and if Blaydes doesn't set up the wrestling properly and just sloppy shoot, he's gonna get caught again. Rozenstruik can get taken down though, and he will get low volume because he's looking to counter you. He's a counter striker, which is perfect because Black Beast like to counter too, and he's a heavy hitter. So this is a fight where it could be the same outcome. If Blaydes doesn't learn from the last time, it can be the same outcome. But what I noticed from Blaydes though, when he gets knocked out, he usually comes back better, man. He usually makes adjustments. If you notice here, Francis Ngannou, pretty much the same thing. Francis Ngannou, pretty much the same thing. But this was more of a stoppage for the eye. But he got knocked out, he came back better. So against Lewis, he should come back better because then he's going to remember, okay, stop the sloppy takedowns. You know, I need to close the distance a little better, quicker, and set it up better. Now, for those reasons here, against Rozenstruik, I mean, Rozenstruik is a heavy striker, but he gets low volume and he waits a lot because he's looking to counter. If Curtis Blaydes can set it up, then he will win this fight easily, man, in my opinion, because he has the advantage in the wrestling, right? So I'm going to go with Blaydes for the win here, man, but am I confident in this? Oh, hell no. Because there's 2 heavyweight guys, and Rozenstruik, he hits heavy. And Curtis Blaydes can get caught with a punch and get knocked out if he doesn't make adjustments in this fight. So I'm going for Blaydes for the win by decision, but I'm not confident, guys. All right? Definitely not. Robbie Lawler versus Nick Diaz. Robbie Lawler here is a veteran. This is more like a fans fight. So, you know, for guys who've been watching UFC for nearly all their life, which I've been from way back in 1993 when I started. This is like when Nick Diaz fought way back in the days in 2004, if you guys remember that, UFC 47, which I do, because I watch every single fight from way back, right? So this is like a fans fight here. I feel like Robbie Lawler is pretty much done. I mean, but like I said, it's not a disrespect. It's more like, you know, he fight for a long time. The guy's a veteran. You know, he put good performance on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, he pulled off good wins here. He was Strikeforce champion. I believe even UFC champion he was too. So I mean, he's been in the game for a while, you know. But from his recent fight here, he just, you know, I guess Neil Magny, Kobe, he just looks like he doesn't have that ruthless in him anymore. He's not ruthless anymore. He doesn't have that go there to take your head off. I mean, he was still swinging punches, but you can tell that is not in him. It's not in him anymore. It's not in his heart. It's not in his mind anymore. Like, he's mentally not there to go out there and take off your head like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's not part of his. It's not part of his. It's not part of his game anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that he probably doesn't want to do no more. He just probably trying to fight out his last fights, and that's it. But I feel like that Robbie Lawler is pretty much he's done. You know, like I said, this is more of a fans fight. You know, his opponent here, Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz is well rounded too. Hasn't fought since 2015 after his last fight against Anderson Silva. And he got suspended for marijuana for 5 years because of that. So that's the reason why he's been out for marijuana, dude. Oh man, I don't know. I'm not even gonna talk about that, man. It's whatever, dude. Ah, boy, it is what it is. Let me see here. But but with Robbie Lawler, I met Robbie Lawler with Nick Diaz here. He's always in shape though. You know what I'm saying? He's always riding bikes. He's riding his bicycle. He's running. He's always exercising. You can tell coming up to this fight like he's in good shape, right? With Nick Diaz, I feel Nick Diaz has more to prove because Nick Diaz has been out for so long, so he has something to prove here. And I feel with Robbie Lawler, I feel like he's just content. He's done. Like there's nothing else to prove. But I feel with Nick Diaz, he got something to prove here. So, and with Nick Diaz, he's gonna keep coming, man. He's gonna keep pushing the fight, dude. He's gonna keep, and it's a 5-round fight. And I wonder why it's a 5-round fight. It's a 5-round fight. Okay, hold on there for a second. It's a 5-round fight, and it's at 185. It's at 185. Okay, it's at 185, guys. I just noticed that now. It's at 185. Robbie Lawler fought at 170, but I think he fights at 185 too. Or did both of them move up to 185? Okay. Yeah, I feel like with Nick Diaz, he will stay in the fight. Like he's just his mental state. He's not gonna break. He's gonna keep coming forward, man. It's just like the Nick and Nate Diaz. They're gonna get into brawls and fury, and they're gonna keep pushing forward. Even then, they get hit with their toes and shots in the face. They're gonna keep coming. With Robbie Lawler will break and fade in the fight. And like I said, I feel Robbie Lawler is done. So the first couple shots from Nick, maybe first, second round, you can see Robbie Lawler start to break in the fight, man. I must say, I must say Nick Diaz here by I must say Nick Diaz by submission, guys. And Nick is also gonna have a 2-inch reach here. I must say Nick Diaz by submission in the first round, but I could be wrong though. I mean, this fight could just be a long, drawn-out fight, but I doubt it because I feel Lawler will break. So it's either submission by Diaz, or Diaz probably stop him somewhere. Probably stop him somewhere in the second or third round. But yeah, I'm just gonna say submission in the first. I'm gonna say Nick Diaz by submission in the first, guys. All right. But again, we haven't seen Nick in a while, so we don't know what to expect here. So he probably would say Robbie Lawler is a better pick because he's more active. Yeah, sure, but I feel Robbie Lawler is done though. And with Nick Diaz, as long as he keep pushing the pace and coming forward, I mean, he's gonna win the fight. And Robbie Lawler doesn't throw like he used to throw. He doesn't. I don't feel he possesses a power like he used to. He just doesn't have the heart. Like it's not there anymore for him. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I just feel Diaz is gonna keep going. He's gonna keep pushing, and that's what's gonna win him. Diaz is gonna win this fight out of a heart and mental. That's basically it, man. Right? So that's why I like Diaz. And it could be a decision also, but I feel like a submission in the first. I mean, that is what I feel. Okay. Valentina Shevchenko versus Lauren Murphy. Valentina Shevchenko, man, I mean, there's nothing. She's a very well-rounded woman, man. Strong fundamental base, taekwondo, boxing, Muay Thai, judo. She can have the speed advantage and striking and ground. She has the advantage everywhere in this fight, man. The odds on her are going to be super high. All right. Lauren Murphy here. Murphy is well-rounded. Let me see here. Lauren Murphy is well-rounded here, and she will let her hands go, and she will look for takedowns. I believe she's a BJJ, either brown or black. But there's levels to this game. You know what I mean? And I mean, Valentina Shevchenko, man, it's different levels. Valentina Shevchenko is on a different striking level than majority of these girls in this division, in the 126 or 125 in the flyweight, right? So I mean, for these girls to really stand out, it's gonna be somebody has to be like on their toes, light on the feet. You can read her. You can read her movements. Yeah, so these girls have to be in relationship with her, man. They have to be able to kind of hang with her in her movement. You know what I'm saying? It's just even just onto the footwork, the movement. You know, when she take a step forward, they have to be able to can take a one step back in counter and a lateral move off, and pick the shots and look for the openings and be able to can read her. These women can't read her because a lot of these women here, they're predictable. I'm not disrespecting them, you know, but they're predictable. Like Valentina can read them like a book because she can see the techniques before they happen because they're predictable. Some of the moves are wind up. Some of them, you know, you can telegraph from how they stand, you know, and then you can see from just off of the hip or the shoulder movement, you know what I'm saying? Or you can even tell from the speed in it, you know, the slow at the movement, and she can read that easily. And if she can read that, then she can counter all day long. He has to be a person that can hang with Valentina on a kind of a speed, timing, and precision of striking, and all around the ground also. You know what I'm saying? That can bounce back and forward with her. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like a good one would be Amanda Nunes, them. Like Amanda Nunes, even though I felt like Valentina won that last fight, but kind of like Amanda Nunes, Joanna Jacek, that has that kind of ability. Holly Holm, yeah, kind of like a Holly Holm, but a little quicker though. Holly Holm kind of slow at the movement. And even that new chick that actually came in here, but I think she fell off the card though. What's her name? Mana Farot. Even a Mana Farot. You saw Mana Farot strikes. Someone who can strike like that, that can stay on the outside and pick the shots and quick at the movement and time, and they can see what you're going to do before you do it and what stance you, and they can tell from the stance that you're in, or they can tell where you're moving to actually counter you. So someone like Farot here, you know what I'm saying, will be a good match for Valentina. But these other women here, they're too predictable. And they slow the movement, and they're like one move. Valentina has 100 moves. You know what I mean? So, no disrespect to Lauren Murphy. Like, she's a good fighter, and yeah, anything is possible in this game. And we've seen big upsets, and it happen all the time. She can probably come in and land an overhand because she does have power in her hands. So she can land an overhand and catch Valentina. But with Valentina on that bounce that she has, she's always on her toes. She's always moving. So by the time she throw that overhand, Valentina is going to read that and counter it. Or lateral move, and then probably go for takedown. So I'm liking Shevchenko for the win here, guys, and I'm a confident pick on this one. Shevchenko by KO/TKO in the second round. Again, anything is possible. The only way Valentina Shevchenko loses fight if she get caught with a shot, with an overhand, or she hurt herself in the fight. I mean, that's the only way I see she losing. But on precision, timing, and skills, Valentina all day. All right. Oh, the Nick Diaz and the Robbie Lawler. I'm not confident in that one, guys. All right. Main fight here. So we got good fights here. We got the Robbie Lawler. It's a 5-round. Oh, so there's a lot of 5-round fights here, and all of these are for the belts. So Lauren Murphy's fighting for the belt, and Brian Ortega is fighting for the belt. So main fighter, we got Alexander Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega. This is a tricky one here, guys. With Volkanovski here, he's going to have a 2-inch of reach, being the shorter guy, but he's going to have a 2-inch of reach on him. He's well-rounded, but favors wrestling. The way he strikes, though, like what I saw him fight against Holloway, the way he strikes kind of favors Ortega for the win here, right? He kind of stays on the outside, kind of pick his shots a little bit. He will use his reach that he has, the 2-inch of reach. But I feel Ortega is going to have the speed advantage and the height. And Ortega will close the distance quicker and then move back out. Kind of similar to what he did to the Korean Zombie. And if Volkov pushes forward, you know, there's a chance that he could get countered by Ortega. If you notice Ortega now, his stand-up is not looking too bad now, man. He's spinning elbows. And, you know, other counters that he throws there, he could catch Volkan coming in, right? Let me see here. Also, if Volkan throw punches, and if Volkov punches takes down, he could put it in. Okay. And also, if Volkanovski, you know, pushes his takedowns, which he does because wrestling is his strong point. If he pushes for takedowns, he can also get submitted. And Brian Ortega takedown defense is not bad. And he will set you up, though. I mean, Brian Ortega will set you up so you can take him down, so you can get a guillotine on you, or triangle choke or some other submission that he wants to get on you. So this is a fight where I feel Ortega can win this fight in anywhere it goes. And I just feel there's a speed advantage from Ortega. But there's a craftiness from Volkanovski though. Volkanovski is very crafty, right? And especially in the third, fourth, fifth round, he will start pushing the pace harder when he knows he may be tired, like what he did to Holloway. But Holloway faded though. In the later fourth to fifth, he started to slow down. What I see from Ortega kept the composure and keep on fighting. When he was fighting against the Korean Zombie, he kept the composure and he wasn't really tired in the fight at all, and he was still landing shots. But that was a close fight with Volkanovski and Holloway though. There's a very close fight. The last one, the fight Holloway versus Volkanovski 2. That fight was very, I feel like it could go either way. It was a split decision, but it could have went either way. It could have went to Max Holloway too. I mean, I think Volkanovski may have won the fourth and fifth round, but I think the takedowns is what probably sealing the deal for the split decision. But to take on Ortega is risky because Ortega ground game is where he shines and he will submit you, right? Ortega is going to have a 2-inch of height. He's well rounded. And his striking was his weakness, but his striking got way better, man. And he made major adjustments in that fight against the Korean Zombie. Like what you see from his striking from way back till now is like night and day, man. BJJ base will definitely look for submissions, but his striking has improved massively. At range, Ortega does well, and he will counter you when you come in. And you start out with the spinning elbow or any other counters, he will fire at you if you're trying to jump in at him, right? When you close the distance though and get into the pocket, kind of pressure Ortega, you can see that he doesn't do too well, but he still tried to slip and take the head off center line and kind of cover up and then cut laterally. I noticed that he did that in the Korean Zombie fight because the Korean Zombie was pressuring him and he was cutting laterally. So he's trying to get out of there. He's not trying to stay in the pocket because that's what he was doing against Max Holloway. He stayed toe to toe, and I think that was his main problem, is that he gassed out in that fight and he stayed toe to toe. It looked like he wasn't prepared. Like he didn't. I won't say he didn't train for it, but it looked like he didn't know what he was getting himself into. He took it kind of lightly. So he changed up the game and he's on his toes, he's moving up and down, he's throwing leg kicks, he's mixed up the combinations, and he's looking good in there. And like I said, with Volkanovski, the way how he fights, he's going to be the slower fighter. He's going to have a 2-inch reach, but he stays on the outside and he tries to feel you out. But doing that against Ortega going to be popping that jab he has, that he was using a jab against the Korean Zombie, and he looked good in that fight. So for this fight here, man, for those reasons there, I feel that wherever this fight goes, Ortega should have the edge. If he fights the same way how he fight against the Korean Zombie, he should beat Alexander Volkanovski. If he come in there with the same game plan like what he did against the Korean Zombie, he should win this fight. If he come in there differently and then try to brawl or whatever, he will lose. He has to stay on the toe, move around, pick his shots, and look for counters and stop the takedowns. He doesn't even have to go to the ground in this fight. But Volkanovski is going to try to take him down though, because he's going to grind. Volkanovski is going to try to grind in those later rounds. He's going to try to grind. He may come in there, pick some shots, try to wear you down, and in the fourth and fifth, he's going to try to look to take you down, and that's where he's going to win points. So that could also be a thing to look at too. You got to be careful with this one. This is a close fight, guys, but I'm liking Ortega for the win here. And I'm going to say Ortega by decision, but like I told you, because of the last couple of rounds, this 5-round fight, fourth and fifth is where Volkanovski will try to push the pace harder. But from what I see from Ortega, man, he kind of hold his pace good. You know what I'm saying? He kind of hold it down. You know, he doesn't get frustrated. He doesn't really get tired when he fought the Korean Zombie. And he looked very good against Korean Zombie, dude. So for those reasons, man, I'm going to go with Ortega for the win here. And I'm going to say Ortega by decision, guys. All right? I'm not confident because Volkanovski could win. And like I said, it looked like with these fights here, you know, when the guys are champions, you have to go in there and actually beat them. If you come too close, you know, the guy that has a belt, they may give the split to that guy. And that's what we see against the Max fight. The Max Holloway 2 against Volkanovski. Very close, but against, you know, if the guy has a belt, they're going to let him keep the belt. So But I like Ortega by decision, guys. All right. Quick look at the odds here, guys. See what we're working with. Omar Moraes, 158 straight across. I don't agree with this, and there's reasons for that, because I feel like Jonathan Pierce could win the fight. I feel like it should be an even fight, even though it could be even, you know, by the time the fight starts. But it should be closer. Because, I mean, Moraes is a good fighter, but Jonathan Pierce is a little more experienced, and he's crafty. He's crafty grinding, man. And he could definitely grind on a win here, man. So, for Moraes being 150 and some size 160, I totally disagree with this. This is an even fight, so be freaking very careful, okay? Matthew Smellensberger. Yeah, I really don't disagree with the odds in here. The odds are high, like I told you. Because Sano, man, hasn't fought since 2017, and to me, he looks green. Doesn't everything he stand up to is grown. It just nothing really stands out. It's not. He doesn't even have power, but he's crafty though, and he will hang in there and then walk forward at you. But Matthew throw heavy, and Matthew has a good wrestling base on him. So I don't disagree with the odds in here, but I wouldn't parlay Matthew in any parlays too much. Because we see what happens when guys are too high on the odds. You know, the underdogs usually come and winning, man. So be very careful with this one still. Nick Maximov, 150 against Cody. I disagree with this one too. This is similar to the Omar Moraes. This should be an even fight, guys. This is even. Even though the odds could change, which is kind of close almost to even. This is an even fight because Cody and Nick are kind of similar in skill set. They both have the wrestling. Striking is so. I mean, it could go anywhere. So I wouldn't be high on Nick. So be very careful with this one. I disagree with the odds. Julian Turner and Medic. Okay, it's close to even. I don't disagree. It's close to even. Some sides even. So basically, it's an even fight. I should just say it's a friggin' even fight, which I totally agree with it. Turner can win. Medic can win. It's an even fight. Metaphora and Santos. Man, Santos is high as hell. Man, you know what, man? Santos is a little bit too high here, guys. I mean, I know that Metaphor, you know, she look like she's on a decline, but she still has a submission chance if she can get the fight to the ground. So she can get the fight to the ground. She can, and she can get a submission. So Santos at 400. Even though she's physically stronger, and we see from Metaphor fight, she doesn't look too good. But it all depends on the matchup, man, and who you're fighting against. Everybody is different who you fight against, you know. So at her at 400, I wouldn't mess with it, man. I'd be very careful with this one, guys, and I wouldn't put Santos in too much parlays because Metaphor could win. So I disagree with the odds in here, man. Santos is too high of a favorite. All right. Chris Dakos and Samal Amazrov. I mispronounced that. Chris Dakos at 200. I slightly disagree here. I say Chris Dakos should be maybe 160, maybe 150, very close to even. Because Shamil still has a chance. He still has a puncher's chance, man. And Chris can get hurt in the fight. Even though Chris is the quicker fighter here, but he can get hurt, man. And Shamil is not a pushover. The guy is a pretty good fighter, man. So, Chris at 200, I disagree. So, be careful with this one, too. Dan Hooker and Nasrat. Ooh, Nasrat is underdog. Okay, they got Hooker at 148, 150. I actually feel this fight should be even, but like I said, it's kind of close. Probably can be even eventually. They have Nasrat at underdog, but I like Nasrat for the win. But I disagree with the odds. It should be a little closer here. But like I said, I have Nasrat for underdog, so it is what it is. So yeah. So if you like Hooker, you go with Hooker. But I'm going Nasrat for the win here, guys. And yeah, it should be. I feel Hooker should be a little more closer. All right. Merab and Moraes. Moraes here. Merab Dvalishvili is 200. Really, I don't see nothing wrong with this here because you look at Merab Dvalishvili, he's going to grind, he's going to go for takedown, and he's 100% takedown, and aggression, and his cardio is good. Marlon Moraes fades in the fight. His mental is not there. He would have to get a submission. It's possible. It's possible you can land a kick and knock out Merab. I mean, that's possible too, but I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with the odds on this one. I mean, I think Merab should be able to edge this one. I feel he should be able to edge this one out. Yeah, he should be able to edge this one out. I mean, again, anything is possible, but at 200, I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with it too much. Jéssica Andrade and Cynthia Calvillo. Jéssica Andrade at 200. This is the next one too. After watching footages, and you see why, it's like Cynthia Calvillo could win, but the speed advantage, man. Speed advantage. I mean, there's a chance for her that she could win. I mean, it could be a good underdog pick, but man, the speed, the power, the strength factor goes to Jéssica. So I really don't see nothing wrong with the odds here, but with the odds that looks like this, even with Dvalishvili, with odds that look like that, you still need to be careful, guys, because the other guys are skilled too. Like Cynthia Calvillo is still a skilled fighter, and Marlon Moraes is definitely a quick, skilled guy. He's quick, and his kicks and things are quick, so he just takes one shot. So you still need to be careful with it. Even though I say the odds is okay, but you still need to be careful with it still, because there's still a chance. Curtis Blaydes and Rozenstruik. Curtis Blaydes 300. Wow. Tennis odds are wild, man. Because the thing is that I disagree with this one too, because Curtis Blaydes showed that when he goes for takedown, he can leave himself open, and Rozenstruik is a heavy striker. So I would have Blaydes slight favorite still, but not at 300, man. Not after his last performance. I'd probably have him at like a 150, or maybe even close to even, or closer than that to even. Because Rozenstruik can land one freaking shot and knock him out. You can tell that Curtis Blaydes can't take a hit. And your head not meant to get hit, but when he gets hit, he gets knocked out in days. He gets flash knockdowns. I disagree with the odds in this one, man, because these are both heavyweight guys, so I totally disagree with this. Nick Diaz and Robbie Lawler, they got Robbie Lawler as favourites. I mean, I can see why, because Nick Diaz hasn't fought in a long time. He's been out of the cage since 2015. I like Nick Diaz though, just more of the durability and the pressure to come forward, and the will to fight, and his mental may be on. I feel Robbie Lawler would he would go in there and not push it, and then most likely will not fight. But it's a kind of close fight, and it's kind of going to be, and some sides it's kind of close to even almost. So yeah. I mean, I got Nick winning, so Nick's underdog, so it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, if you guys like Robbie Lawler, you can go for that, But I would say the fight is close to even, and either guy can win, guys. Okay. Lauren Murphy, Valentina Shevchenko. Yep. Yeah. It's going to be super high, man. It's 2,600. Yeah. I really don't disagree. I mean, if you guys feel that Lauren Murphy may have a shot, you could do something with that. But Valentina Shevchenko, anywhere this fight goes, she should be able to win it. Speed, timing, the striking, the ground. Her judo, her taekwondo, her Muay Thai. Her mental. Her strength. I mean, all those... I feel like is better than Lauren Murphy. So that's why the odds are like this. So I really don't disagree with the odds, because she is supposed to win the fight. But again, nothing confident. I mean, nothing is definite though, and anything is possible. But Shevchenko should win the fight though, unless, like I said, she hurt herself or she get caught with a punch. Brian Ortega underdog. Okay. Volkanovski. Yep. For being a champion, you figure she should be the favorite. I mean, of course. At 176, I really don't disagree, but I feel Ortega, may take this fight, and I have him winning. So I could be wrong, but I feel like he should take the fight. From what I've seen from the footages and the videos I've watched, if he fight the same way and Volkanovski fight the similar way, he should be able to win the fight here. Alright guys, so that's my betting breakdown there, odds and betting breakdown. And that's it, guys. Check out my Patreon account for more plays, face-off predictions, prop bets. I will leave all my picks down below. I'll leave all my information down below. You guys give me those thumbs up, subscribe to this channel. One love out to everybody, and os.